The Switch 2 generation has finally started. Donkey Kong Bananza feels like the first true major Nintendo game of the Switch 2 generation. When you play this game, you feel the love and care and ambition that has gone into it. From the level design to the gameplay mechanics to the setting, all of it is there. And so in today's video, I'd like to share my initial impressions, my first impressions of Donkey Kong Bananza. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the setup for the story and setting. So the game opens on Ingot Isle, which is an island just offshore DK Island, and Donkey Kong has become a miner in search of Banandium gems, which is basically a bunch of large bananas. So as he is mining, as he makes his way through, he comes to a clearing, and at that clearing, all of a sudden this whirlwind kicks up and is dragging everything towards it and it forms this meteor, and this meteor comes down, crashes into Ingot Isle, forcing it down into the underground, including Donkey Kong. So after all that aftermath, Donkey Kong wakes up, and through some events that happen, which I will not speak on at this time, as those events happen, you learn that Donkey Kong must actually delve deeper into the subterranean area in order to make his way back to the surface. So that's the opening setup for the game. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the gameplay mechanics. So Donkey Kong can punch upward, forward, downward, and he can also even dive bomb into the terrain. He can also take a chunk of the terrain, break it off, swing that chunk of rock at enemies, at other parts of the terrain, and just kind of crush everything in his path. In addition to that, there are these bomb cubes that he can actually take, just like the rocky terrain, take that chunk, break it off, and then throw that at enemies to cause them to explode. So it's a very, very, very fun set of abilities and mechanics that he has at his disposal. Speaking of terrain, one of the key elements of this game is the environment. Almost every part of it is destructible, and it's so much fun to be able to traverse over it, through it, and go underground. As you're traversing the environment, you will find a variety of collectibles. And I'm only a few hours into the game so far, so I've only found a few, but I'm sure there are more as you progress through the game. But just speaking a little bit on the ones I have found, first we have gold, which comes in two types. You have those single flecks of gold that you'll find, and then you'll actually find gold chunks as well. Secondly, you'll come across fossils. Now these fossils are used as currency to exchange for outfits in the style shop. So you collect these fossils, you exchange them for outfits that Donkey Kong can wear. And then thirdly, you also can find Banandium chips. And these Banandium chips, as you collect more and more, you're able to spend them on Banandium gems, which again, like I talked about earlier, is those collection basically of these giant bananas. And so they're used to buy those from a store. And then fourthly, we have treasure chests. Now these can contain a variety of items, but some of the ones that I've come across so far are apple juice, red balloons, which the apple juice restores your health as Donkey Kong. If it reaches 0, it restores it all the way back up. The red balloons allow, if Donkey Kong falls off the edge of the map, it allows him to basically, reset and not experience that fall. So it saves you from that fall. So those are a couple of items. There are treasure maps letting you know, hey, here's where the Banandium gems are in the level. You can find those maps in the treasure chest. So there really is a good variety of items that you can find in these chests as you progress through each level. You'll also come across some minigame levels, such as puzzle levels, as well as combat levels where you have to beat a certain number of enemies in a specified amount of time. And so far, I've had a great time with these minigames, and they have been well integrated into the main gameplay loop. In Donkey Kong Bananza, there is a skill tree system, and how it works essentially is that as you collect Banandium gems, for every 5 gems that you collect, you get a skill point. And in that skill tree system, some abilities or some skills cost 1 point, others cost 2 or 3 points. In addition, you can also take skills that you've unlocked, and those can be upgraded further. So obviously, the higher the skill level, the more that can be upgraded, the more Banandium gems that it's going to require. And so it's a very fun skill tree system so far from what I've experienced, and it's been a lot of fun to be able to unlock some of those abilities. And just a couple so far that I've come across is, for example, you can increase Donkey Kong's maximum health, and on the terrain, as you progress further through the game, the terrain gets harder and harder to be able to punch through and navigate. So you can upgrade a skill for Donkey Kong where he can punch through that terrain in less punches or with fewer punches. So far it's been a great system to explore and unlock those abilities. Next up, let's talk a little bit about platforming, because there are a variety of ways to explore this world. Donkey Kong can scale rock faces, he can obviously punch through the terrain, dive bomb through it, he can cross these overhead wire sections and kind of climb through that, he can do a little bit of swimming, and he can even take a chunk of rock from the terrain and basically do rock sliding, or rock surfing, if you will, through the terrain. So you are constantly on the move in this game, and it is so fun to explore in these variety of ways. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the visuals, and from my experience so far, it's been great. Some of the details that they put in the game, such as Donkey Kong's fur, its texturing, his facial animations, sparks that fly out as he is punching through the terrain, the environment itself, the colors in the environment, all of it has been really, really good. And while it's not the most graphically or visually stunning game that I've ever seen, it looks really, really good. So far, the only nitpick that I have with the game is the camera a little bit, the player camera. And what I mean by that is that, for example, as you are punching through the terrain, as you're diving deeper into the underground area, you'll notice that the camera will move to the point where you get a little bit, it's a little wonky to be able to tell where you're at in the terrain. So you might be, in a sub-layer, an underground area, you're punching through this terrain, and you kind of lose where you are in that terrain, and you get a little bit confused. And so the camera can be a little bit wonky. So I think one solution to that could be zooming that camera out just a little bit from Donkey Kong's location. And so zooming that out just a little bit from him, I think really could help alleviate that issue. But really, so far, that's been my only nitpick. Donkey Kong Bananza is shaping up to be a fantastic game, and I'm so excited for what's ahead. I do plan to throw my hat in the ring at some point and do a review of the game, but I really want to take my time and just enjoy the experience. But in the meantime, I want to hear your thoughts on the game. If you've picked it up, what are you enjoying so far? What are your nitpicks about it? Put all of that in the comments below. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and engaging in some discussion with you about all of that. If you enjoyed today's content, leave me a like and subscribe to the channel. That always helps me out a ton. And of course, I really, really appreciate it. But hope you take great care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next video.